The Guardian Tree. In a small village, surrounded by a dense forest, there lived a wise old man named Hari. Hari was known for his calm demeanor and his ability to resolve disputes with fairness and compassion. He often spoke of the balance between humans and nature, urging the villagers to respect the forest, which he called the guardian of life. At the heart of the forest stood a massive ancient banyan tree. Its sprawling branches provided shade to animals and travelers alike, while its roots seemed to anchor the very soul of the forest. The villagers revered it, believing it had a spirit that watched over them. They called it the Guardian Tree. One day, a wealthy merchant named Ramesh arrived in the village. He had grand plans to expand his business and saw the vast forest as an opportunity. "This land is rich," he declared. "If we clear the trees, we can build farms and factories. Wealth will flow into your village like a river." Many villagers were tempted by Ramesh's promises of prosperity. They began to argue among themselves, divided between those who wanted to preserve the forest and those who wanted to embrace the merchant's vision. Hari, sensing the growing tension, called for a meeting under the Guardian Tree. Villagers gathered, their voices loud with debate. Hari raised his hand for silence and spoke in his gentle yet firm tone. "The forest has provided us with food, water, and shelter for generations," he said. "But I understand your desire for progress. Let us ask the Guardian Tree for guidance." The villagers were puzzled. How could a tree give guidance? But they trusted Hari and agreed to wait for his counsel. That night, Hari sat under the banyan tree, meditating. He closed his eyes and listened to the rustling leaves and the whispers of the forest. As dawn broke, he rose and returned to the village with a plan. "I propose a trial," Hari announced. "Let us see how we fare without the forest for a single day. We will cut only a small section of trees, enough to build a single field. Then we will live as if the entire forest were gone." The villagers agreed, and a small portion of the forest was cleared. The change was immediate. The air grew warmer without the canopy of trees. Streams that had always been cool and clear became muddy. Birds and animals fled the area, their calls replaced by an eerie silence. The following day, the villagers woke to find their fields parched. Without the shade of the forest, the crops wilted under the blazing sun. The wells began to dry up, and the fish in the river grew scarce. Realizing the cost of their decision, the villagers gathered once more under the Guardian Tree. "We were wrong," they admitted. "The forest is not just a resource, it is our life." But Ramesh, the merchant, was not convinced. "This is a temporary inconvenience," he argued. "We must think of the wealth we can gain." Hari turned to Ramesh. "Wealth is meaningless if it costs us our home and our future. Let me show you something." He led Ramesh deep into the forest, to a place where the trees grew so tall their tops seemed to touch the sky. There, in a small clearing, was a sapling. "This sapling," Hari said, "is the child of the Guardian Tree. It will one day grow as mighty as its parent, provided we do not destroy its home." Ramesh looked at the sapling, then at the towering trees around him. For the first time, he saw the forest not as an obstacle, but as a living, breathing entity. He realized that his plans would not bring prosperity but devastation. When they returned to the village, Ramesh addressed the crowd. "I was wrong," he admitted. "I see now that the forest is more valuable than any gold or silver. I pledge to help protect it." With Ramesh's support, the villagers began planting new trees to replace the ones they had cut. They created a system to harvest only what they needed, ensuring the forest would thrive for generations to come. The guardian tree stood witness to their efforts, its leaves rustling as if in approval. And as the forest flourished, so did the village. The streams flowed clear once more, the animals returned, and the crops grew lush and plentiful. The villagers learned that true prosperity came not from taking more than they needed, but from living in harmony with the world around them. And so, the guardian tree continued to stand tall, a symbol of balance and wisdom, reminding all who passed beneath its branches that nature's gifts were not to be taken for granted. Moral of the story: respect and preserve nature, for it is the foundation of life and the key to true prosperity.